Sure. So, Alessa, as both of you stated, right, kind of the emotional anchor in the relationship, what do you guys, as one of the more visible, you could say, couples in Hawaii, what do you think is missing in relationships for couples in Hawaii?
That's a really great question. And in my opinion, again, there's many different ways to love a person, many different versions of love. I think, especially in this generation, one of the things that is missing in Hawaii, or even pretty much anywhere, and it's very simple, it's just genuine connection. You know, it's just getting back to like, again, it's just simplifying it to where there's so much loud noise out there with Instagram, X, whatever you want to call it, Snapchat. There's a bunch of distractions, a lot of misleading information on people. I think one thing that, you know, it's this generation and even, you know, whatever, if you're a person that's trying to find love, it's just not being afraid just to be yourself. I know it sounds pretty cliche, but it's that simple. And just being genuine about what you want from a person, and, you know, not expecting so much. Like, there's levels to being in a relationship, like, you know, boyfriend, girlfriend, husband, wife, mom and dad, all of that. But if you don't have the main foundation, which is just genuine connection, it's not going to work. And I see a lot of relationships, they start in lies. If you're starting a relationship on a foundation of lies, that foundation's not going to hold you guys for a while. So it's more of just find someone that you can genuinely connect with. You have the same core values, and then you go from there. And, you know, I think the problem too is that people are trying to rush to something, like get married, have a house and kid. I'm like, yeah, that's there, but don't rush into it if you don't have all these steps before. If you ain't financially ready, if you're not emotionally ready, if you're not emotionally available, if you're in a relationship and you see someone else, that's another one. Just leave. Like, I don't get that. Yeah. No, there's times where I'm just like, love is love. And you know what? You can't, if you see something and you're like, wow, and you really connect with the person, I get it. Yeah. But if you commit to someone else, figure that out first. I see a lot of that.
Okay.
And let's be real, we're adults here. Like, we're not kids.
Yeah.
The worst thing I see too is relationships that start early. You go through like the big steps too fast. That's where you lead to being a single parent. And then you're being alone because you did all these big things, these big commitments with people that probably didn't have the same values you did at the time. And then you're stuck at square one.
She's talking to my soul right now. I just talked before her.
No, I think that's one of the, everywhere. I think it's like, you know, how they say COVID was the biggest, what's that word? What was COVID? Oh, the term.
Hookup season.
No, it was COVID.
It was the biggest, what I was going to say, COVID was the biggest time where you found out if you was meant to be in a relationship,
or,
because you was forced time.
Pandemic, right?
Oh, pandemic.
Yeah,
okay.
COVID was a big pandemic. But you know what was another one? And I'm not judging anyone, but another one is just a lot of kids growing up in a single home. And, you know, broken families are hard to avoid. Like, we all come from them. We all have friends. But if there's a way to, like, you know, prevent that, like, it's hard seeing a single child grow up, especially if the household's toxic, the relationship's toxic. That's where you're creating generational curse. And then that child learns the same thing, and then it's just a toxic cycle. So it's more of just, and all you really had to do, again, going back to simplifying it, create a genuine connection, really get to know the person, really take your time. And if you do find the one and it hits the boxes that quick, okay, yeah, snag it. Yeah. But give yourself time. Give yourself time to learn a person. Maybe you're not in a good place to even be in a relationship. Let's think about that first too. So yeah, genuine connection and just having the same core values, I think, is super important that, you know, a lot of people don't take into, you know, account when looking into a relationship or being in a relationship.
Quick follow-up, because everything you're saying is landing, right?
Yeah.
The hard part, I think, is for participating in this presentation that is social media.
Right.
With being true, right?
Yes.
Especially if you're not the one with camera and editing and all that, especially if there's money tied to it. There's other motives and, you know, intentions tied to an image that someone might access.
Yes.
So they might perceive something as true and genuine,
Right.
when in actuality it's not. So how do you participate in this sort of representation of yourself while maintaining that genuine, you know, like you said, connection?
You know what's crazy about that? You just hit, like, we're in a time, and that's crazy. Technology, just the way the world's moving. Everyone's moving fast. There's kids that have social media. You're like, whoa.
Yeah.
But we're all in a phase right now where we're all trying to learn how to cope with being a person and then being this whole other person on social media. Like, we're literally in that movement and trying to figure that out. Think about it. Like,
Yeah.
I think I'm born 1994. I'm probably one of the last generations, and the ones before that, where we played outside or we didn't have a life where we're on social media. That no longer exists. That's like extinct. Now we're in a place where we're all trying to figure out, how do we move this way while things evolve, but at the same time not lose the core value. And I think, you know, that's one of those things that it depends on what you value as a person. And honestly, it's like, again, if you can create a healthy place, a healthy mindset, knowing, again, it's simple. Be your genuine self, whatever that is. And whatever you see on social media, again, it's perceived the way that person's going to perceive it. A lot of it's from a job aspect, or I don't know. I'm not going to lie. I think all of us are a bit narcissistic. Mm-hmm. That's a bit of social media, right? Yeah. But, you know, at the same time, it's understanding and being mature about situations on social media and who you are as a person. Taking what you can, not, you know, getting so involved in something where you feel it's not going to help you. And again, just being genuine, and whatever you see is what you see. And also knowing at the end of the day, like, that might not be what it is. Let's not make a big deal out of it. And if that's what it is, then, you know, you either take it or leave it. But it's more of like, if you can create that separation where, I mean, the best of both worlds, if you can just be genuine on both ends, that's great. But there's, you know, you're going to come across things where it's not like that. Mm-hmm. And I think the best way for yourself or a person that's trying to navigate through those kind of problems is create something that works for you. And again, keep it genuine, keep it simple. Don't get too many things in your head. Yeah, I think that's all I have to say.
No, thank you.
Dang.
Yeah.
What a great way to close this.